Imagine being just 5 years old, locked in a dark cell, clutching your mother's hand as smoke begins to fill the air. You hear the screams of women around you, the sound of heavy boots, the cruel laughter of men who didn't come to free you, but to destroy you. And then, the fire starts. No way out. No mercy. This isn't a horror movie. This isn't a tale from centuries ago. This happened in January 2025, in Goma, Democratic Republic of Congo. During the chaos of a rebel assault, thousands of prisoners escaped from Munzenze prison. But the women? They weren't freed. They were trapped. According to UN officials and eyewitnesses, they were raped, every single one of them, and then the women's wing was deliberately set ablaze. Hundreds of women, children, and young girls died in the flames. Entire lives erased in minutes. The attackers were linked to the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels, who had just seized control of Goma. And this wasn't random violence. Human rights groups say it was systematic, calculated sexual violence, used as a weapon of war. A deliberate attempt to break entire communities by targeting their women. Think about this, thousands of male prisoners ran free into the streets. But the women? Locked inside, violated, and burned alive. Doesn't that tell us this was not an accident, but a crime against humanity? And yet, despite the scale of horror, the world barely noticed. The headlines came and went. The screams of victims drowned out by politics and silence. Meanwhile, Goma, a city of more than 1 million people, is living in terror. Families displaced, hospitals overwhelmed, children going hungry. Thousands of bodies still lie unburied. Survivors of rape are left without medical care, without justice, and without a voice. Some UN officials now warn that this is part of a much bigger plan to destabilize eastern Congo, to carve out territory, and to use sexual violence as a weapon of fear. Rwanda denies involvement. But eyewitnesses, peacekeepers, and journalists have seen Rwandan soldiers crossing into Congo. And that raises a painful question: if the evidence is there, why isn't the world acting? Why do we treat atrocities like this as if they are distant stories, when in reality, they are happening right now, in our time? We often talk about history, they burned witches, we say, as if women were only brutalized centuries ago. But in 2025, women are still being burned alive. Not for witchcraft, but for simply being women in the wrong place, at the wrong time, in the middle of war. These women deserve to be remembered as more than statistics. They were mothers, daughters, sisters, children. They had dreams, laughter, and lives that mattered. So I ask you, will we allow their suffering to fade into silence? Or will we raise our voices so their memory isn't erased? If you are watching this video, don't scroll past. Share this story. Talk about it. Demand that leaders push for investigations, humanitarian aid, and justice for the victims. Because silence is part of the violence. And if we ignore it, it will happen again. The women of Goma were silenced by fire. But our voices don't have to be.